Happy Sunday, it's meal prep day. I promise I don't always look like a hot mess, but every time I'm like, oh, that would be a cool video idea. Let me record a video while I'm doing it. I look like a hot mess. So you know what? Embrace it. Today I'm gonna make the super easiest and most delicious vegetable soup you're ever gonna try. It's my Aunt Tanya's recipe. I get pretty much all my recipes from her because she's the greatest cook I know. And I always call her for my recipe tips. So this is a vegetable soup. I add ground turkey to it because I like to have a little bit of extra protein, and it's reminding my husband's lunches this week and he doesn't eat things without meat. So here we go. All right, first I'm gonna brown my meat, but I accidentally got 85.15. Normally I get 93.7. I do Walmart online grocery pickup, and sometimes I can't see exactly all the details of what I'm ordering, but it's fine. I'll drain off all the fat. But first I'm gonna brown that up. All right, now while my ground beef is still cooking back there, I'm gonna start the process of all the vegetables. This is why this recipe is super easy, because it's all canned vegetables. So if you're opposed to canned vegetables, this recipe's not for you, because I think they have to be canned because of what I'm about to do. So you take all the cans. Let me get my can opener real quick. You take all the cans and drain the juice out of the vegetable and save the juice because you're gonna need it later. All right, so let's see. First, green beans. And let me tell you, I got the Walmart version of almost all of these except for two that didn't come in a Walmart version. And the whole recipe was only like $9, and it makes lunch for Chris and I for the whole week. So I'm just gonna take these cans and drain them into this big bowl. I'll show you in a second. So you just take the can, and I put the strainer in just this big bowl and just pour the whole can in there. And then when the vegetables are separated from the juice, shake it out, and I'm gonna pour this into the crock pot. All my vegetables are gonna go into the crock pot. All my juice is gonna stay in here. I'm gonna show you all the vegetables I'm gonna drain, and then I'm gonna do it. So I have a can of sliced carrots, a can of diced tomatoes. It calls for 1 can of the sliced potatoes, but it's really not enough, and I really like the potatoes, so I'm doing 2 cans of sliced potatoes. Totally up to you. Can of corn. All of my store ever has is these seasoned field peas and snaps. It just calls for regular field peas, but they have the seasoned ones, and then they have the seasoned butter beans. That's all I can ever find, but it actually gives the soup a really good flavor. So I'd actually recommend doing the flavored ones, unless you just don't like the seasonings they use, I guess. So I'm gonna open all of those, all of my cans except for my tomato sauce. I'm gonna save that for later. But all of these canned vegetables, I'm gonna open up, drain, put the vegetables in here, leave the juice in here. Actually, before I do that, all of my meat is done. So I'm gonna bring this over to the strainer and strain it real good. And like I said, I'm gonna shake that fat out really good because I got the 85.15 instead of the 93.7 like I normally get. So I'm gonna shake that out, and then I'm just gonna add it to the crock pot. So now that that's in there, I'm gonna finish draining all the vegetables and putting those in there. All right, so now I have all of my strained vegetables in here, all the leftover juice in here. Then I'm gonna take my can of tomato sauce and add it in. Now when that is all in there, I'm gonna give it a really good stir. I've actually never done this in the crock pot before. I always do it in a pot on the stove because I'm normally in a hurry and like need it to cook faster. But today I have all day for this to just let the flavor mingles in the crock pot. So that is why I'm doing it in the crock pot today instead of on the stove top. But yeah, give that a good mix. Then the very last things I'm gonna add are beef bouillons. I don't have the cubes, so I'm gonna do 2 teaspoons of the powder. Then it calls for a 1/4 cup of ketchup. But I don't really measure that out. I'm just gonna kinda eyeball that. Put some ketchup in there. It just makes it a little extra tomatoey, a little extra saucy. Sorry, that keeps sliding. Don't have a fancy setup here. No tripod. Gotta have Heinz, baby. Just kind of squirt a good amount of that in there. whatever you're feeling. And then it calls for garlic powder, but since I do the seasoned butter beans and field peas, I don't do like a ton. It only calls for, well, it doesn't even say how much, it just says garlic seasoning. So I'm just gonna shake a little bit of that in there. Then, sorry, you can hear my baby crying in the background. Hold on, let me go get her. Then you just add however much of this like leftover juice you want in it to make it the consistency that you want. So like if you like it really thick like a chili, leave it like that. You want it a little more soupy, leave it a little more soupy. I add just a little bit. I'll show you how much I add. All right, I just got a cup and I'm just gonna do a cup at a time and kind of measure out how much I'll use. I'm gonna start out with 2 cups and stir it up and then see. Yep, she's still crying. Just ignore her. I'm gonna go get her after this. She'll be all right. She just woke up. Give it a good stir. I might add 1 more cup and then that should be good. And the flavors of those juices are real good. Give it 1 more stir and then I'll show you kind of the consistency that I like it. About 3 cups of the leftover juice. There it is. And I'll leave it on high in the crock pot for maybe about 4 hours or so till whenever I'm ready to take it out and portion it out for lunches this week. So hope you enjoyed this little tutorial.